So why open carry? Is it a good idea? Or will it make you a target? Will it make you the first one shot? Are you just doing it for attention maybe? Well, before I give my thoughts on that, let's go over reasons someone might have to want to open carry or potential benefits there might be to open carry. Well, after talking to different people who open carry for different reasons, as well as my personal and professional experience carrying a firearm, let's go over those reasons. The first reason I've heard some people open carry is because you're not limited to the size of gun you can carry. If you want to carry a full-size 45, you can do it. If you want to carry a full-size 9mm, you can do it. If you want to carry even a compact 9mm with a light on it, a lot harder to conceal, especially in warmer weather, you can easily do it. So you're not limited to the size of firearm you can carry or the accessories that you can add on your gun, whether it be a light, maybe an RMR, things like that. And in regards to the benefit about, you can carry a light, you can carry a larger gun if you want. I'll have an example right here. All right, and here's what I mean about options. Open carry gives you options. So if you want to carry a full-size 45 like this HK45 or throw a light on your gun, you can do it. When you throw a light on a gun, it's usually much harder to conceal, especially when you throw in other factors, like if you don't want to dress around the gun. So it gives you options there. You're not restricted to only carrying a smaller gun or not ever carrying a light or whatever. If you want to carry a full-size SIG P226 with a 20-round magazine, you can do it. If you want to carry a Glock 19, concealed or open, you can do it. Or if you want to carry a small gun in the range of this SIG P365 or Glock 43, you can do it. You're not limited to a small gun with a shorter barrel that's generally harder to shoot and usually has a lower round count. Now I know the P365 has a great trigger and I know it has a decent round count for a gun that size, 10 rounds. I mean, that's great. So the P365 is kind of an anomaly for a gun in that size range. Most don't hold that many rounds and aren't that great to shoot. However, even with the SIG P365, as good as it is, it's still easier to shoot a compact or full-size handgun. And the Glock 19, which is bigger, still holds 5 more rounds. The SIG P320 compact still holds 5 more rounds. I mean, you get the 12-round extended mag, still 3 more rounds in the Glock 19 standard mag. So, and it's easier to shoot. Yeah, I can shoot this gun very well, especially for a small-size gun. However, I shoot my full-size and compacts better, and they're more enjoyable to shoot. So I'm not saying that you have to carry any particular gun like some people do, or that this should be enough. And while I'm sure for most citizens, this 10 rounds out of something like this would be enough. But if you like to be prepared for more, or just are more comfortable with a different gun, or maybe you just want to carry your favorite gun, if this is your favorite gun and that's what you like to carry, you should be able to carry it. So just something to consider. And while I'm sure most of you are aware of gun sizes, I just wanted to point that out. If your favorite gun that you shoot the best is a full-size gun or a compact gun, why shouldn't you carry it? Because someone might dare see it? Are the potential drawbacks or potential risk of open carry worth not carrying that gun? We'll go over that in a minute. Let's focus on the reasons people might have to open carry right now, or the benefits there are to open carry. The second benefit to open carry, which I can certainly attest to, is that you don't have to dress around the gun. If it's the middle of July and you want to wear a t-shirt and shorts, a properly fitting t-shirt and shorts, and not look like a jackass with a gun printing so bad that it's so obvious that you might as well be open carrying, that's a good benefit. You can wear what you want without having to be limited to carrying a really small gun. You don't got to sit here and wear more layers or worry about what shirt you can or cannot wear, what pants or shorts you can and cannot wear. As long as it has belt loops and will take a belt, you can wear it if it's shorts or pants. Shirt, it doesn't matter at all. If you want to wear a tank top, you can do it. The third benefit to open carry is comfort and practicality. Now I know there's some very comfortable concealed carry holsters out there. Not going to take away from that. However, open carry, on your belt or on your hip, is generally going to be the easiest and quickest way to throw a gun on and get going. Especially if you're doing something. That's where the practicality comes in. If you're doing something very active, especially in the summer when you're wearing a t-shirt and shorts, it's not going to be very comfortable or practical when you got a gun digging in your sweaty body. It's just not fun. If you're going hiking, it's generally not going to be as comfortable or as practical going hiking with a gun digging. I've hiked up a mountain a couple times concealing a gun, and it was not very fun, not very comfortable. I mean, especially if you're really getting out there, you're carrying a pack on your back that kind of gets in the way of being able to draw from your waistline, upper body area, due to the waist strap if you're wearing one of the bigger packs. It's going to be a little bit harder to draw the gun. Even if you suck it up and deal with the discomfort, it's not going to be very practical to get it out very quickly. So open carry is more practical in that regards. If you're doing certain activities, it's going to be more practical. It's going to be easier to get the gun out. It's going to be more comfortable. Now, comfort is not a reason that you should refuse to carry a gun because it's not comfortable, but it is a reason that you might want to consider to open carry it. And then the fourth reason that some people open carry is to raise awareness for gun laws in their area, or show support for the Second Amendment, political speech, that kind of thing. Some people, especially in states where a permit is not required to carry a gun openly, some people in the local gun rights groups will open carry for the sole purpose of getting people to ask questions about it. Maybe people who are on the fence about firearms, or who have maybe considered carrying a gun, but they were a little intimidated by the potential process or the laws or the trouble they might get in for doing it, not really knowing. So it gets people to ask questions. And then, especially in those states that don't require a permit to carry openly, say, hey, you don't even need a permit. You can just, as long as you're 21 years old, depending on the state, and as long as you're, not barred from owning a firearm, you can carry a firearm in the state openly on your hip. You only need a permit for when it's concealed. Or if you're in a constitutional carry state, you don't need a permit at all. And if you're new to firearms, though, we recommend you going to our website or our state gun rights group and checking out these links for training. We can assist you in, firearms training, gun safety, that kind of thing before you start carrying if you need it. And I've heard some success stories where people have essentially created more pro-gun voters that way, more pro-gun people, more good people carrying a gun. That's a good thing. And just plain political speech, people wear pro-gun shirts all the time. I look at, and some of these people are people who won't open carry. And it's like, well, dude, I know you're carrying a gun. You're wearing a pro-gun shirt. If I look hard enough, I can tell where you're printing. Not everyone, but I'm just saying some of these people. So, you're okay with showing support for the Second Amendment by wearing a t-shirt, but for some reason you're against it by carrying the actual gun and having that visible. So, with those being reasons to open carry or potential benefits of open carry, what are the drawbacks to open carry, and is there any increased risk with open carry? Well, some people say that it'll make you the first one shot. That'll make you a target. I don't believe that's true. Again, based on my personal and professional experience. Sure, you can find articles out there where someone was targeted for their firearm and robbed of it. But there's so few incidents out there that it's a statistical anomaly. It does not occur very often, considering that various people have been carrying a gun openly for years all over this country, and there's only a handful of documented incidents of it. That's a statistical anomaly. It's so unlikely. But there's also the fact that most criminals prefer unarmed targets. They prefer easy targets because an armed target increases their risk of getting hurt, getting killed, or getting caught. Draws more attention if they have a struggle instead of just being able to take it, whatever they're after, and go. They're generally speaking going to move on to another target that's easier to get. That has been my experience at dealing with criminals, whether it be people breaking in cars, people breaking in houses, or people targeting people to harm. Because most of the criminals, even when they commit crimes like armed robbery, aren't looking to harm someone. They're looking to get the money that they're after, or they're looking to get the valuables that they're after. Or even a rapist is looking to commit the rape most successfully. And believe it or not, criminals do risk management. You know, they weigh the risk. They may not know they're doing it, they may not call it that, but it's kind of an instinctual thing that happens. Yeah, a lot of them are dumb, but they still have that instinct and desire not to get caught, not to get hurt. Are there some criminals who don't care and who will target you anyway? Sure, but they're not the large percentage of criminals. All right. And to address those articles, that those few incidents that do exist, I'm sure there's other factors that come into play that you or I don't really know about or can't see. I mean, what part of town were they walking in open carrying? Did they have situational awareness, or were they walking around in their own little world looking like a jackass? Were they looking like one of the people that most of us in the gun culture call sheep? You know, were they walking around looking at their phone, aloof, not paying attention, look like a soft target in a bad part of town, a combination of things? Yeah, that might get you targeted. If you're open carrying and you're doing a crappy little nylon holster that someone can tell you just bought at Walmart, and you dress like crap, you don't look like you've exercised a day in your life, you clearly aren't paying attention, you don't look like you're ready to respond if someone were to challenge you. Yeah, and then you just happen to go by one of these more hardened criminals who don't care about you being armed and who are willing to take that risk, or who are just, you know, one of the more psychologically unstable criminals, yeah, then maybe so. But if you're doing it right, you're using a good holster, most importantly, you're using good situational awareness, and you're carrying yourself in a way that doesn't make you look like a soft target, that shows that you're paying attention to your surroundings, that shows that you're a serious person, that you're not just goofing off, then yeah, you can do it. And again, a lot of that can be averted by watching where you go and just having good situational awareness. What are the chances that you're going to run into one of the small percentage of criminals who don't care that you're armed while you're open carrying, who are just going to happen to see you while you're open carrying at just the right time, at just the right place? What I mean by that is, if I'm going out to eat, you know, say I'm stopping at a restaurant after I go hiking, right? Because I think it'd be pretty stupid to bring a change of clothes if I'm not really dirty. And I'm not stopping at like some 5-star restaurant, or a different gun or a different holster. One more thing I got to deal with to change into, or to change over to, because goodness forbid someone see my gun. So say I'm stopping to eat at a restaurant. The only time that you can see I'm carrying a gun is when I'm standing at the front waiting to get seated. Maybe if I get up to use the restroom. And then for the 2 minutes it takes me to get up, walk out and leave and get in my car and go. Aside from that, the majority of the time I'm at that restaurant, you're not going to see my gun. You're probably not going to see me when you first walk in, but even when you walk in, you're not going to see my gun because the table is going to be obstructing it. My gun's generally not going to be on the side of me that's exposed and out in the open. So you're probably not even going to see my gun, probably not even going to see most of my body, much less my gun. Or if I'm at a store, if I'm in the back of a large department store and, aisle 32, and someone decides to come in the store and hold it up or whatever, they're not going to see me at all. There's going to be aisles and shelves completely in between me and them. So what's the chance that one of those, again, minority criminals is going to happen to target the place I'm at, and they're going to happen to do it during the 5 minutes I'm up front checking out, or less. 5 minutes or less, I'm checking out up front. Not very high. And then, even if they do come in while I'm standing up front, if you want to break it down mathematically, there's really only a 50-50 chance they'll see that I'm carrying a gun between the people that are in the way, and more importantly, you can only see the gun from one side of the body. So there's really only a 50-50 chance you'll see it even if you walk in then. So when you weigh all that, is there really an increased risk with open carry, you really going to be making yourself a target or the first one shot? No. The chances of you being targeted for open carry, being targeted for carrying a gun openly, is so incredibly small that it's really not even worth worrying about, especially if you're doing it right. Now, I mean, you're more likely, given how most criminals are, to deter a criminal attacking you than you are to attract one. Because as I said earlier, most criminals prefer unarmed, easy targets because they don't want to increase the risk of getting hurt, killed, or caught. And attacking an armed citizen does all of that. Even if they even if they succeed in getting your gun and they have to kill you, which that's not an acceptable outcome, I'm not saying that. But the criminal knows that at that point, they have to risk increasing the severity of their crime, which is going to increase attention from law enforcement, which is going to increase their risk of getting caught and increase their penalty if they get caught. Again, I'm not saying on you to rely on criminals not doing anything for fear of getting caught. They'll do it, but again, they have an instinctual desire not to get caught, and they can at least deduct that, why should I take an increased risk targeting this guy when I can target someone else who looks like a much easier target? Now, with that being said, again, if you do it right. There's really no increased risk with open carry if you do it right. So, use good situational awareness. Carry yourself in a serious, some people would say professional manner. Use a good holster, a good retention holster, so you can keep it should that time ever come. Not to mention it goes with the look too. Like I said, if you're wearing a crappy holster and it looks cheap as hell, then you're not going to look as serious. You're not going to look as ready to respond. So it's not just about the retention factor either. Like I said, if it's some cheap nylon holster you bought from Walmart dangling around, makes it look like you're less serious about being ready to respond should something happen. And be mindful of the venues that you go. Yeah, most places you should be able to open carry without an issue. It shouldn't be inappropriate or a problem. However, there are some times or some places that it may pose a problem. If you're going to a crowded festival or a concert where you can actually carry, which is rare, or any place like that where you have people crowded, close to you in a very close proximity, whether it be some New Year's event or whatever, out where you're standing outside watching, something drop. Yeah, then it would probably be a little unsafe because you have all these people very close to you that no matter what level of situational awareness you use, you're not going to be able to keep your gun sight away from someone being very close to it no matter what you do. So there are times and scenarios where it's inappropriate, and there are things you can do to increase the risk of you being targeted for it. But if you do it responsibly, and I would recommend getting good firearms training first, weapons retention training, getting good training just on situational awareness. A lot of that you can just prep your mind for reading books by professionals, and then practicing good situational awareness, learning what cues to look out for. Now, some of it you may not acquire to the level of a professional, someone who's in law enforcement, who has firsthand experience at seeing, what kind of cues to look out for from criminals, that kind of thing. But you do have a gut. Most people can sense when something's not right with someone, when something's off. And if you use that to your advantage, then that's usually a good thing. Doesn't mean you have to go overboard, but simply, you don't got to explain to someone who comes up to you in the Walmart parking lot telling you that they're out of money and they need money for gas and they're doing a little aggressively. You don't got to explain it to them why you are standing in the stance that you're doing, keeping your gun sight away from them, keeping your distance. Tell them that you don't want to talk. Tell them you got to go. No. If your gut tells you it's not right, say, I got to go, and just go. And keep your eye on them. Don't turn your back on them. I mean, that's what freedom's about. If you want to carry a full-size 45 HK45, you should be able to do it. You shouldn't have to hide it and conceal it because someone might see it. The thing is, a lot of these people who are conceal-only folks like to think that they're elite somehow. Like they're somehow better than you because they conceal their gun. They don't dare let anybody see it. It's just sad that some supposedly pro-gun people team up with the anti-gunners when it comes to bashing those who open carry. Are there some people who do it the wrong way? Sure. Are there people who do it for the wrong reasons? Sure. But that's not most people who open carry. And just because someone else is doing it wrong doesn't mean that you can't do it correctly. With that being said, be the change in the world you want to see. If you want to open carry, open carry. Just do it in a good way, be responsible, and worry about supporting freedom and less about someone's method of carry, as long as they're doing it safely and responsibly.